Hello, everybody. This is Scott Evelyn, and with me is Ali Caldwell, and this is September 2023, and we're going to look forward to having a nice discussion today about the market update, and we're going to give some best practices in the changing industry. Just give about 30 more seconds here, and we'll get started. Just let some more attendees file in here. All right, Ali, well, let's get started here. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining the call today. It's September, start of school year. It's always an exciting time of year. I just feel like it's a time of growth and new beginnings, and even when you're the ripe old age of 53 like myself. So still kind of exciting. But so today we're gonna, with me today is Ali Caldwell. I'm Scott Ebeling, and we're gonna talk today about a couple things here. One's about Box. Ali's gonna go into a little bit about just a refresher on everything boxes. We always have plenty of new people on the call every time, and we'd like to just go a refresher on that, be real quick. And then we're gonna go on a market update. I'll be doing that. And then Ali's going to go into a pretty good discussion about the best practices in changing history and some of the changes we're seeing and not seeing, and some of the things that can be done to help kind of help your business grow during all these changes. So with that, I'll leave it away to Ali and go into about Box. Go ahead, Ali.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for making the time to join us today. Getting started here, in case you are new to Box, not as familiar, not yet a Box broker, but you're looking around for a new commercial energy partner, just want to introduce ourselves and introduce our platform. Box is Broker Online Exchange. We are your ultimate commercial energy brokering partner. We provide independent energy brokers and affiliates with access to all top electricity and natural gas suppliers, instant pricing, and cutting-edge software, all supported by industry experts. Broker Online Exchange has become the largest network of energy agents, brokers, and consulting firms in North America. We connect a variety of diverse partners so that they can each benefit from streamlined, efficient options in deregulated gas and electricity markets. You can see how you can scale your energy business nationally here with our deregulated energy map. So you'll see options for power or for natural gas available in green, power and gas available in blue, lots of choice markets there. And then you'll also see a lot of the states throughout the Midwest and out west have limited availability. The United States and lower 48 is deregulated for natural gas nationwide, so technically everybody is deregulated for natural gas. However, these are states in the dark with the slashes through them where they have very limited availability for natural gas only. Usually that means customers who are transporting natural gas. They're the ones who are large industrial and commercial manufacturing clients who are purchasing gas in large quantities. We do have providers in these areas. If you do have very large natural gas opportunities in these areas, we're happy to take a look at them. Everywhere else, for the most part, has choice programs, so big and small, we'll take them all. We do have options in all of these markets, so if you're interested, if you have customers in these markets, please reach out to us. We're happy to take a look and see if there's a way we can help those customers. We'll also go through on our next slide our top suppliers. You'll see a bunch of names that you're familiar with. NG, Direct Energy, Energy Harbor. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Ali's having a little audio problem.
There we go.
There we go. You good?
I think I may be having a connectivity issue. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm good, I think. Okay. Here we go. Our next slide, you'll see some familiar names, some of our top energy suppliers in the space. NG, Direct Energy, Energy Harbor, Constellation, Champion, NextEra, lots of familiar names here. We also do work with a good mix of regional suppliers that are able to offer their niche expertise, whether that's with a particular commodity inside a particular market, or whether it's for a particular customer type or a particular product that they're piloting. Box's scope is enormous in terms of the types of customers that we do and the offerings that we have. So again, if you see names on this list and you're interested in partnering with us and being able to get more bids and more options to put in front of your customer, definitely give us a call.
Yes, and I also want to add to that, Allie.
And lastly, just want to introduce.
Yeah, I just want to add to that too, Allie, that we're also partnering with multiple like providers, like demand response providers, energy efficiency providers. You know, we get the battery storage. There's multiple other partners besides just an energy supply, natural gas supply, and procurement that we can work with and work with the customers on.
Yep. And then our last intro slide here is just an introduction to our strategic solutions team. Scott and I are both on our strategic solutions team here. We really work to make every partner a full service consultant. We offer all of those services with a large support team, whether it's strategic procurement, usage, analytics and budgeting reporting, contract analysis and negotiation, sustainability strategies and benchmarking, buying energy and electricity can be very complex, and with complexity comes the possibility that customers sign contracts and they don't know what those contracts actually say or the way that they're going to treat them throughout the term of the contract. Box's goal is to take care of all customers, ensure that the customer gets the very best deal and contract terms available. The lowest price doesn't always equal the best deal. There can be lots of layers and lots of kind of gotchas in this language. Contracts are generally written to benefit the writer, so it's part of our jobs that we happily tackle to go through and make sure that all of our customers are treated fairly for the term of the contract, as long as they're under contract with Box. We're here to help. And with that, I'll pass it back to Scott.
Thanks, Allie. And bring up the market update here. All right, everybody. Well, here's some changes we've had. This is the calendar strip prices for now, and the changes compared to where we were a month ago. You see gas has had a decent drop, but power prices are kind of sticking in there, especially out in ERCOT, which of course there's reasons for that with the high LMPs. I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't risen more than that, to be honest with you. But this surprise here in West Hub, and you've got some other stuff going on in some of their territories. The PJM markets are a little higher as well, despite the gas moving down. And we still have a belief here that the heat rates seem to be a little overpriced right now. But going into this a little bit more here, this is winter gas. This is from the beginning of the year. This is winter 2024 gas, winter coming up. And as we called it back in the spring, that we'd be range bound. We have been. We look like we might have almost had a breakout about last month at this time, but that kind of pretty much faded away, and we've been stuck in this $3.60 to $4 range here for this winter 2024 gas, and of course everything else as well. But winter 24 is the one that really looks at kind of the storage situation and what we'd be. And the surprising thing is the storage situation actually has gotten worse as far as a little tighter, just a little. Heading more towards the average in the high bar. I believe the forecast has probably come down about 100 to 150 for the end of for beginning of winter storage, but we're back down to these 360 levels. So gas, pretty decent opportunity here to buy. Going into this a little more now, looking at the LMPs. This is PJM. And PJM, pretty much all the other markets are relatively correlated as ComEd, all the other PJM markets, ComEd, PG, if you look at them all, relatively similar prices for West Hub, the main hub in PJM. And again, we've stuck under $40. We now have it above $40 for a 24/7, this is around the clock pricing, 24/7 LMP. August came in just above $30. So there we are somewhere pretty dead. And now the last 12 months now is at 45.56. This includes this chunk here of September and October, November, and this December one. We have, you know, some middle of the month around Christmas time, some pretty high LMPs, but here we are, pretty tame. That's quite interesting, despite the fact that we have power prices way up in this around these levels here, these last 12 months levels. Where it's at. So it's interesting. Now, ERCOT, this is really interesting. Look at this. This is August. I mean, we were like right here. We put August in here because we thought like, okay, it's sort of going to stay around these levels. It actually increased, and August ended up being $260, second highest average LLPs on record for a month in ERCOT, behind Winter Storm Uri, which was actually 1485. This chart would be completely out of scale if we put it up there, so I just kept it stopped it at 350. But yeah, so we hit around 260 there, and last 12 months now ticked up to 61.37. So again, compare that to where ERCOT's being priced at in the mid, you know, kind of the low mid 40s. Here we are, 61.37. Although there are some more resources still are coming online. Yeah, here's the real interesting thing here about it though, is that if you just really look at about a third of the day, this chunk here, this is where the action is. I mean, look at this. This is 26, 26, 26, 26. You know, I even though it's 120, but this is where it gets going. And the reason why is because this is the peak part of the day right here. And solar and wind, you know, wind, okay, it's fine, it's good here. Solar comes on, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. But then wind starts fading. And a lot of it depends on how much wind we have. And then of course, solar will start fading around here. You still have these high loads right around here, boom, high prices. This is the average hourly price, you know, each day for LP. So you just ran your place here, shut down here, ran your place here, index products free. But there's ways around this, working with battery storage, things like that, and kind of optimizing some stuff. So for larger customers, our team can create some effective strategies to optimize. But this is a pretty interesting chart, I thought. And it just kind of goes to show kind of still the issue of the grid as they bring on more solar. To mitigate some of the wind, this will help here, and of course some battery storage, and I think we're going to, you know, really be able to help mitigate this over the coming years in ERCOT. Going to natural gas storage, you know, we are kind of, you know, we're trending near the top here, and now we're kind of looks like we're making this beeline for the average bar, the 5-year average. We actually expect storage probably to, you know, kind of come in here, projected to be in storage around 37.25. Which would be kind of right in between the blue and the gray, the 5-year max and 5-year minimum. We were probably heading, if we didn't have this warm summer, probably be heading right around this 395 to, you know, 4 area. So pretty much full storage, but a little less. And like I said, the market isn't really kind of showing any sort of movement because of that. So we'll move on here now. Here we are, do have some future LNG export growth coming in. We talked about this all the time. I love showing this slide because it really shows you what's going to be happening here. So here we are right about now, and this is everything that's coming in over the next, you know, it's almost a double in the storage probably in the next 4 years. Guaranteed we'll have probably an 8 BCF increase because these are under construction and they will complete it in time because it was a huge incentive to complete it in time. We're talking millions and billions of dollars, and here we are here. But this is what's planned. There won't be any increase in this level because it takes $10 billion to construct one of these, and permits and all this stuff. But you know, even if some of these get done, we're talking probably, you know, I can pretty much set a bank there in 2027 will probably be 10 more BCF of gas being exported out on a day-by-day basis. So that's something that's kind of pushing out the curves a little bit, and it's something to keep in mind. That's why gas curves are in that kind of contango position where, you know, power prices are. The further out you go, the higher the prices are. And here we are, natural gas production is holding steady here. I just kind of shrunk this down from like a 3-4 year chart just to show kind of like a year-over-year basis. These numbers are greatly shrinking now a little bit. I mean, so it's really 3 BCF a day year-over-year increase. You have about a 1 BCF a day, 1.5 BCF a day increase in LNG year-over-year exports, and then of course consumption as well. So we're pretty much flat year-over-year on a supply-demand basis. Which is interesting. And of course, as these go on here, that will change as more LNG comes on or production. But you know, this 102 in production, it could change because look at this rig count dropping here. We kept on showing every month here, but we are now we are probably, I think, another 7 or 8 BCF. It continues to drop. Although the drop isn't as dramatic as we had in the beginning of, say, right around these levels here in May, we started having these big drops and increase, but the trend is down. This is usually, talk about that in a second. There's usually a 4 to 6 month lag in drilling and activity and production. These wells are becoming more and more efficient, but we're going to end up seeing some sort of like production effect on this, especially this big drop. We expected this to come in probably sometime to start showing its head around mid-November to mid-December, and which is not the right time you want a production drop to happen. So some interesting things can happen there. It's a good thing we're going in with some good healthy storage, but this is with some cold weather, this is going to set some nerves off and could start putting the volatility and take us out of that $3.60 to $4 range you showed earlier for winter gas. And oops, I'm going to talk about that. 82% of wells drilled in 20. So just in 2022 alone, 82% of the wells that were drilled were just replaced current production. So if we just stop production right now, there's no more like well drilling allowed at all. What we'll end up seeing probably over a 1 year time period is probably a drop of 15 BCF a day of gas, which would be huge. Boom, we're out of gas easily by the next winter. I don't care what the temperatures are, how hot or how cold the summers and winters are, we'll literally run out of gas at that point. So you need to just keep production up just to keep the gas at a steady production level. You need to drill a lot just to keep gas at a production level. Here's a piece here we just want to put out here, a little research piece on some of our customers, but this hurricanes, well, a big thing people think, they're like, oh, hurricanes coming, oh my God, it's bullish for natural gas. Crude oil, refineries, things like that, really the refinery end of it, yeah. So gasoline, like for your car, could have some issues, but for hurricanes, for natural gas reasons, that's over. And here's why. The story was, this is when Katrina hit, it was a good healthy 12% production, 14% production was natural gas. So you had that out, boom, that's gone. That'd be like losing 10 BCF a day of gas, right? And you didn't have any LNG out there either, really any LNG exports going on at all. So you didn't have any downfall that can happen. But look at this now. Now we're at 1.8 BCF a day, less than 2% of gas. Okay, let's see then, here's the demand destruction. So that's supply destruction right there. And this would be a storm right in the, right in the mid region in kind of New Orleans, Louisiana border, between the Florida border, Texas border, just so it would happen, right? You have 1.8 BCF a day of gas, you just completely shut down all production in the Gulf, right? And if there actually was a nail boom, it could be down for longer other than just a week or so. But here's the potential demand destruction scenarios. And this is the side that people don't really look at. We've always known that power demand, of course, can decrease, right? And, so you have power demand decrease, BCF a day. But what about LNG demand? So now the Florida border, Texas border, you're talking, these ships can't go out in the middle of a hurricane. And so if they don't go out, they don't go out. And if there's a hurricane being threatened, it could be down for a week or so, whatever. But this is the total demand destruction. So this is why we call it bearish. We don't care where it hits. This is likely going to be a demand destruction thing, whether it hits in Florida, the Florida border, the Texas border, inside the Gulf region, or just Texas. This is going to be a decrease in demand for a period of time, and which is definitely more of a bearish event than anything else. And finally, have a strategy. definitely we love this chart here. It kind of shows the risk reward of really kind of like the volatility of the market from anything else. This is kind of the front of the market in gas, and then it kind of shows you what, the next 12 months are at. It's 337, actually around 345 now, but 347 level. And it just shows you here's the customers, what the reward they're looking for, here's the risk. And we think it's really important. This is why we really, we like to work with, especially the customers over 4 million. And your usage share on a kind of just to be more disciplined, remember this, customers aren't taking a long position, they're covering a short position. So if they expect to be in business the next 5 years, they are going to need power, need gas. And if they don't have that kind of cover strategy for that, they're kind of flying blindly. And, if they're going on kind of more of a hope kind of a strategy versus actually having a disciplined strategy, which is very, very important. And maybe one of these times we'll talk about kind of more disciplined strategies that we use here. But that's about it. And now I'm going to give it over to Allie. Any questions you guys ever have on the market update, feel free to contact me. I'd love to talk about the markets, love to answer your questions, and love to help you with your customers. Go ahead, take it away, Allie.
Can you guys hear me okay? I just wanted to check.
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So sorry, you guys, just having some technical difficulties this morning. We're going to go into best practices in a changing industry. We have had a ton of questions about Connecticut, about New York, about new legislation that's happening in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic areas. I know that we've had some of these issues in the past with broker fee disclosures and just wanting to know, how do we handle these conversations? How do we approach our customers? What's the best way to go about this when our options are limited, our industry is changing? So just to take a step back and look at an overview here, state of the market. As of this year, pretty frustrating stuff. No new states have deregulated in 20 years. New territories like Lubbock, Texas, that is moving to join ERCOT are immediately saturated. Lubbock is not even open yet. They do not have ESIIDs assigned yet for customers to actually start shopping, but there are still agents and companies out there actively marketing to customers, even potentially putting customers under contract before they even have the required numbers. So again, new territories immediately saturated. Connecticut, up in New England, limited broker activity via regulation earlier this year. We'll talk a little bit about that, but basically you have to be either an aggregator or you have to be a licensed agent from an energy supplier. There is no in between. And then New York has some licensing changes in process, including mandatory fee disclosure. As far as where we are with Connecticut, right now we are a licensed agent with a handful of suppliers, so we're really pretty much business as usual. Connecticut and New England in general has pretty limited supplier participation and suppliers serving behind that area, but we are able to serve customers of all shapes and sizes. We do have matrix offers for that. We do have custom pricing going on that side. And New England, for its part, looking at the larger customer side where we've been able to offer some strategic solutions, we've been able to generate significant value propositions for those customers. So still a good market, just limited in terms of our options, supplier options and participation. I think that regulation is still settling, but definitely something to pay attention to. And again, lean on us. We're your partner here. Going into New York, our licensing changes, we are in the process of getting licensed according to new requirements. We're keeping up with all of that. Whenever we do have to start disclosing fees, we will have documentation that's able to help with that and adheres to all regulatory requirements. So again, Box is an expert in this space. Both Scott and I have significant experience in this industry, as does the rest of our management team. We are here to help. We are participating in, Public Service Commission roundtables. We are actively involved with advisory councils, trying to advocate for our industry, for our position in our industry, and to advise regulators on just the way that it works, and seeing if we can make progress, get involved in that conversation to advocate for ourselves. We believe that's really important. But again, lots is changing in our industry. The markets that we do have are very mature markets. We're not having conversations anymore around these are the ABCs of deregulation. You used to be controlled by a monopoly, and we're just a ratepayer that had no choice but to pay utility prices. You now have a choice, and you're able to select a retailer and truly take control of your energy cost, whether you want to ride real-time prices on an index structure or lock in a long-term fixed price contract under current market conditions. Either way, we're able to help. We're not necessarily having any of those conversations anymore. Customers who are shopping are usually pretty savvy. But again, an educated customer is still a great customer. They know their options, and we're able to offer more value depending on what those customers' needs are. So, moving into some of these conversations about our broker fee disclosure that will be mandatory in New York, also highly recommended in Connecticut and some of these markets where marketing behavior is really being put under a microscope. We expect the broker fee disclosure to be mandatory in New York, likely early 2024, probably realistically mid 2024. This could drag. We expected it to take effect later this year, but we keep pushing out time. But along with regulatory and the way that legislation works, of course, we're pushing out later and later. So we don't know when this will take effect, but we will continue to adhere with all requirements necessary to operate in any given market. From what we understand currently, fee disclosure will have to happen at multiple points in the process. So give some thought to that during your starting point with discussions with customers. It's best to be transparent and upfront about these things. And we do have some recommendations here on this slide as far as how to handle that conversation. Again, these are our recommendations. These are things that, discussions that we've had directly with customers. This is, potentially the way that we've handled them. You don't have to do it this way, but again, we get a lot of questions around how to handle these and what changes are happening, and how we can all continue to go about consulting our customers and being able to offer value. And we do still have options. The traditional methodology for most brokers, whenever we're making margin, is to mark up the supplier's prices per kWh. So per kilowatt hour, usually in 0.1 cent increments or mils. That usually results in earnings that are commensurate with the amount of time and work performed for that customer. Smaller customers who may have simpler needs use less, so less commission, while larger customers have more complex requirements. Their processes are going to be longer, and most of them require ongoing account management, which we are happy to help with. We definitely want to be able to deliver all of that value throughout the life of the customer and be able to support them and you throughout the contract term. But again, those larger customers use more over the contract term. So marking up the per kilowatt hour price usually works logically. But there are other options. So we have in markets or in certain markets or with certain customers also worked to put retainers in place depending on the nature of the business and our conversations, or flat fees, a monthly fee or a one-time upfront fee. Your usual traditional markup where you're marking up a per kilowatt hour price is known as a performance-based fee. There are other ways to structure that as well, but be flexible. Understand that you may have to educate your customer about the options from A to Z. So again, give some thought to your starting point. It's okay to be relatively open and transparent. We advocate for everybody to be transparent with their customers, honest with their customers. Remember that the customer is your customer, and the best way to keep your customer is to continue to deliver value and to continue to demonstrate your expertise in the space. So not just with products, suppliers, markets, but even sometimes with payments and pricing. The more flexible you can be, the more you can educate your customer. In those cases, the better. The other piece that I want to really, really emphasize here is that and we talked about this a little bit at our All Hands on Monday, in sales, it is imperative to understand what you're selling and to believe in what you're selling. We understand and believe in our value as a service provider to all of our brokers. We want to be the best partner nationwide for you guys to support you and provide additional service offerings, whether that's utility data box, a system that reports on and keeps track of invoice data and lets customers understand what they're using, how they're using it, provides budgeting capabilities, etc. Or if the customer is wanting to be more efficient or narrow down their carbon footprint and understand their environmental impact, those are things that we want to look at, where we want conversations where we want to be involved as well. We're here to support you and add to your value, and we provide ongoing services for any contract signed through Box. We're always here to help. I know that we've talked some in the past about our retention teams, our renewal teams, our commissions team, our strategic services team. We have full teams, and I love saying about Box, one of the things that I really value about being part of this team is that we have a really deep bench, and all of the players who are sitting on the bench, if I'm ever PTO or Scott's PTO, they're happy to pick it up and run with it. We really do have a great team here. So regardless of what your customer's looking for or what you're looking to offer them, we're happy to have those conversations, and we're here to support you. Again, we're also happy to be involved in those conversations with customers, particularly with customers on the larger side of things that are looking for more options, looking for guidance, looking for strategy. We are happy to work with them directly and hand in hand with you to develop and articulate the benefits of those strategies. So just keep that in mind. We are here. And then lastly, our last slide here.
I just want to interrupt you here real quickly. Great stuff here. I just want to go on that too, working with the larger customers. So if you have a customer that's over 4 million annual kilowatt hours, we're here to help. And we've talked about it many times on these calls, and we talked about last month of the team selling, but the team selling really works. And I just want to remind everybody again that once you bring another person in on a call, so you have 2, 3, 4 people on a call, so if it's yourself, your chances of getting that deal go up 286%. That's almost threefold increase in your chances of doing it if you go by yourself or you have somebody else on the call. We're fully here to help you join that call with the customer, to look like a team, to look larger than your organization really is, to be a consultant. And when you do engage our team on a call, our stats here are at 86%, where if you engage one of us on a call with a customer, one of our strategic solutions member teams, me, myself, Allie, remember, your chances of closing that deal are 86%. So 86% win rate when one of us are on that call. So yeah, so engage us. We're here to help you win. So go ahead, Allie. Sorry about that.
No problem at all. That's a good highlight. We did just do a feature on team selling, and we want to emphasize that we're here and that it really helps everybody's odds. We did a webinar earlier this year. It's on YouTube if you didn't catch it, on best practices and how to handle your first big meeting with a customer. And we had this do and don't slide. So I went ahead and brought it back for this meeting because I thought that it was really just absolutely applicable to what we're talking about today as well. Do take a consultative approach. Understand your customer's pain points, risk tolerance. Ask a lot of concise questions so that you can understand exactly what it is that they're looking for, what their experiences have been with any previous attempts to purchase energy. Are they already working through someone, or is this their first experience? As much data as you can collect, whether that's customer invoices on the accounts or just background on the way that this process has worked for the customer and what the pain points have been. Being as thorough as possible. Oftentimes customers will tell you exactly what it is that they're looking for. And so the more thorough you are and the better you can vet those opportunities, the higher likelihood that you will eventually close that deal and be able to help manage that customer. Some quick don'ts. Don't offer only one product or solution. Along with team selling, a very successful sales strategy is to offer options. We offer options not just in terms of products, but also in terms of suppliers and other value-add services. So lots of things to present to your customer. If you're coming to your customer with one set of pricing, one offer, it's really easy for them to say, no, I want to see other options. And that conversation is a yes or no conversation. But statistics show that if you're offering more than one option and you're saying, hey, here's 3 options, here's, a good, better, best, then the conversation becomes, okay, which of these do we want to move forward with? Not a yes or no binary conversation. So it's a great sales strategy to be able to offer more than one product, more than one solution, more than one service, more than one supplier, and Broker Online Exchange can help with every single one of those points. The other thing, quick don't promise savings, and don't forget to set expectations. We do tell customers, and we advocate telling customers, that moving on to a retail contract is the way to take control of your energy spend. It's the way to be able to protect yourself against future rate increases and lock in a good energy rate. However, fixed rates, the value proposition, I think we've talked a little bit about this too. The value proposition of a fixed rate isn't necessarily savings, it's budgetary certainty. Fixed products may not perform as well as utility variable products if the utility variable is using real-time settlement as their pricing mechanism. So promising savings is not necessarily the best, especially because utility prices tend to change, especially whenever you're using fixed as your point of comparison. And of course, don't forget to set expectations. Talk your customer through your process. Let them understand that it's going to take a little bit to go through the work of bidding this deal out, going through every supplier's offer, their products, their service levels, their contracts, understanding what it is that they're offering and what contract, how the contract terms influence that offer for better or for worse. And being able to do that research and do that work is a great thing. It's definitely a benefit to your customer, but it does take time. So don't forget to set those expectations with the customer, help them understand what options you will be coming back to them with, and help them set a realistic timeline so that they understand when you're going to be getting back to them, and you really set a pace to the conversation. Of course, you can take your cues from your customer. Those customers have their own timelines depending on their financial years or times when they have taxes due. But helping them through that process is also part of the value that you can provide as an energy consultant, as an energy broker. So those are our quick do's and don'ts. I think that may be it for this part. But Scott, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just want to add this great stuff there, Allie. Really appreciate it. And how, as the industry really kind of changes here, just kind of go back to this whole industry changing, it's more and more important than ever to be aligned with somebody like Box versus just kind of on your own, because we have lawyers that we talk to on a constant basis, trying to understand the markets, consultants that we work with. And with all that, we pass on this information into to our customers, who are our brokers and consultant teams. And really, it's so much more important to work with a couple like us. I mean, like I said, we're here to help you. We go far beyond what a lot of other providers, our competitors do, where we actually have a human touch. You can talk to us, we can work with you. We don't just put everything down some algorithm and throw it out to you. So we're here for you. We're here to help you. We truly, our passion is to help you guys close this stuff. It's my passion. I like closing deals. I like helping customers, helping the brokers and consultants out there just really thrive. And we're here for you. That's all I have. But I think we have some questions though. And let me start out with the first one here. This comes here from, what needs to happen for the PJM market to become backwardated for 2025? When you anticipate this happening? I don't necessarily anticipate it happening. From what I see out there is that the market is, the reserve margins should be coming down with some of the retirements that are going on, a little slower to get some of the generation back up. Potential increase in usage, more so than the normal kind of 1% rate that has traditionally been through. So I don't expect it to become backwardated. I do think the heat rates are overblown. As far as the heat rates I'm talking about, it's the price of power compared to gas. But when I say that, I mean, and I'll tell you this right at the bat, I am just taking a stab at it. I'm giving you my opinion. I also truly believe that you should have hedges in place and strategies in place to mitigate your risk in the marketplace. And that, things can change in a dime here, but I really, I don't expect it to become backwardated. And backwardated, that question, I'm sorry, clarify that backwardated means the prices on a curve are lower in the future versus that's called backwardated. And when they're higher in the future, that's called contango. And right now it's more contango and will become backwardated. I don't expect it to become backwardated compared to say 2024, but I do expect the prices to come down slightly compared to the price of gas. The gas price could go up $2-3. Power prices can go up as well. And let's see, another question here. Allie, maybe you can answer this one here. Which states would you expect to be the next states that could potentially go deregulated?
That's a great question. I have heard during some conferences about Missouri. There is definitely advocacy there happening for choice on the energy side. Missouri is a state where large commercial industrial natural gas, we do have suppliers in that area that are able to serve. But as far as choice programs, there have been some moves on that side. There are a couple others. For example, Nevada has been looking at deregulating for a very long time. They've passed preliminary deregulation measures, but they haven't opened the market yet. So those are two areas where I think we could see some positive movement with respect to retail energy choice. The other thing I do want to say about that, though, is that some of the areas like Ohio or within states that are deregulated, we have seen municipal aggregations or public aggregations dissolve due to the fact that energy prices pre-Winter Storm Uri and pre-2022 were really flat. Utility pricing was really flat in Ohio for like a decade. And so everybody who aggregated in Ohio let those aggregations go. Those townships may have had turnover. The people who put together and managed the aggregation and managed that program no longer work for the city, municipality, county, and now they're looking at aggregating once again. They're understanding the volatility from last year and the way that it's coming through in utility prices, and will likely continue to come through in utility prices even if we don't have any volatility, just still kind of the aftershocks of what happened last year. So whenever you're having these conversations, it's also worth talking to some of those public entities, whether those public entities are school districts or large purchasing groups or municipalities, townships. Box's Strategic Services Division is more than capable of putting together a request for proposal or running a RFP, RFB process. We do have a reverse auction platform that is available for those who require it and who are of size and who are interested and want that feature as well. So if you're having some of these conversations, those are also areas where they may not have had choice in the past, but they may have choice right now. And so those are good conversations to have as well.
Yeah, and great point of bringing that reverse auction thing up. Again, I want to remind everybody, we're working on technology here to be able to have a reverse auction available for any customer over 1 million annual kilowatt hours. That really brings a much larger chunk than what currently we have available. Is we can do this, and there's some kind of more fees attached to it. That's customers that are like really in that 6, 7, 8 million kind of annual kilowatt hour range, so much larger. But we're going to bring this in. We've got technology working here to have our own internal kind of solution for that. Last question here, and it's let's see, 45 minutes already, so this one's real quick, and I think it's important now. A question comes across here about Australian LNG and the strikes going on there and all that, and the effects on our markets. It's going to affect on the global markets if you're importing. But I really, and I've seen some, some analysts out there on the circuits and the Bloomberg and CNBC and stuff out there claiming how, oh my God, it's not good for natural gas, especially winter coming up, and if it continues. Well, the thing is we're already shipping out as much LNG as we pretty much possibly can. So whether Europe needs more because Australia goes on strike, we don't have it. And it's not really going to have any impact on our demand side. It does, have an effect though on European gas. So it's a non-event, and the market's really, they aren't moving because of that. And I think we had a blip one day, and there was a reason why. I don't know if that was a true reason why it really went up, but yeah, this isn't really an event. It's nothing related. It's not going to be really highly related to the U.S. markets right now, but I just wanted to put that out there as well. Thank you, everybody. That kind of will conclude our show here today. Really appreciate everybody joining this call. We enjoy putting this together every month and putting this on. Like I said, the materials are on right now. A PDF is attached to this webinar. You can find it in the handouts part. And we'll also be sending it out. We'll put it on our LinkedIn and be sending it out as well, and along with this webinar recording of it. So have a great month, everybody. The start of the school year, like I said at the beginning of the call here, I always look at it as a start of growth, the start of something, and kind of get excited this time of year because it's something new and starting something new and just kind of really going at it and digging deep, especially till the end of the year. And look forward to working with all you guys. This is our team here. We're here to serve you. Have a great day. Have a great month. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.